Hey, guys and girls, how are you doing? Welcome back to Modsauce on the Hypermine server. Oh my goodness, I have been so busy without actually having too much to in the way of finished stuff to show you, but nonetheless I've got quite a bit to show you. So oh, there we go, it's day. So let's get on with things, we'll start in here. Oh, stop you. Stop. Right, so yes, let's see. Right, firstly, all my storage is now kind of almost fully upgraded. Still need to put slot upgrades in there, but they're all at the obsidian level. Apart from these over here, I've upgraded all of my elite factories, elite factories to speed. Let's do this to speed 9. Let's show you how that looks. Oh no, I can't do it with that. That doesn't go into won't go into the first slot. So let's do it with that. This is pretty awesome now. Look at that go! Wowzers! So and that is now gonna, let's see. Yeah, it's coming through already to there and shooting through there. And you can see this is going up 8 at a time, 7 at a time or something. Super fast now. Really happy with that. Got some extra feeds in for like if I'm cooking up masses of Yellorium, which we'll get to the reason for, and turning gravel into sand and sand into glass. Loads of that as well, and stuff and things. So let's have a look. Our induction smelter is over here. I put that back up, put that back out over here on top of Wally. And also we have a pulverizer. Now, what did I need the pulverizer for? I can't remember. There's a few things I've needed the pulverizer for. Metallurgic infuser is over here now. And we have a few new things over here. We have a an alloy smelter for making steel, the Anderium steel, which is a bit easier for me to make now and than the other type of steel, definitely faster, and also for making I can't remember now, a few other things. We also have a magma crucible, and this is pretty much, I have been using it to make blaze powder with redstone, and I also have in a chest somewhere, I have a fluid transposer, and if you didn't know, you can do destabilized redstone into glowstone dust and it turns into blaze powder, which is awesome. But primarily this has been put in to melt down ender pearls. And why we've been melting down ender pearls? Because we've been making Anderium. Now, I started off making the Anderium basically, as you see here, with a bucket and the shiny metal, the tin dust and the silver dust. Thank you. Silver dust. I turned this into a crafting station so I could leave the ingredients in there, but it takes so long to do. So I've made this Mine Factory Reloaded liquid crafter, which is awesome. Basically, you set up like a template like that, load all your physical items in here, and fill one of these tanks with your liquid of choice. In this case, resonant ender, and then it will basically do the operation to form the recipe upon a redstone signal. So we've got this redstone clock on top, so that it will basically, when I fill this with in fact, let's see, not that I have any more need for it, but let's see if I can find an ender pearl. There we go. If we put this in here, it starts melting down, and then it will go into here and it will go into this tank. You can see resonant ender, 500 millibuckets, 750, and then when it gets to 1,000, which is 1 bucket, you see it makes some Anderium blend, which is awesome. And I've been cooking that up in here. Oh, there we go, with pyrotheum, which is made from something. Pyrotheum. Yeah, sulfur, coal dust, and redstone, and blaze powder, which is why I needed to make blaze powder. Got loads of sulfur, no problem there, from nether sulfur ore. And pulverized coal. Oh yes, I was pulverizing coal. It's a lot more convenient to pulverize the coal than it is to do it in those machines there when I was using them for other things. So yeah, I was making Anderium, and we'll get to the reason why I was making Anderium later in the episode, but yeah, that was how I was doing it. I've also got this Ender.io vat, which I've been making nutrient distillation, and that's quite a simple recipe. You get this vat, and if you're looking to make one, it's this one here, the vat, with, you know, it's all pretty much this electrical steel. I have a feeling that's why I needed the alloy smelter for, because it's not you can't use other forms of steel for this recipe, so that's why I had to make the alloy smelter. Cauldron, machines, chassis, and these basic capacitors, which are dead easy to make. So apart from my lack of an alloy smelter at the time, that is an easy recipe to make one of these. And then you just put mob heads in here, or beef or something like that, and mushrooms or nether wart or something like that in there, and it makes this nutrient distillation drum. Why am I making nutrient distillation? Well, that's because I needed ender pearls to make Anderium. Oh, hello. Excuse me. Thank you. So, how was I getting ender pearls? Well, if you remember when we had that little adventure, that little adventure with Tick and the gang, I picked up an Enderman spawner. So I've made this little kind of temporary setup here with fans and the Enderman spawner there. Oh no, you don't. Yeah, I will get to what happened there in a second. There we go. Let's get back out. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I put the Enderman spawner up there, and I made a soul shard up, and I've then supplemented the vanilla spawner with a tier 3 soul shard spawner, which I will upgrade later on. I really ought to take some of these ledgers out. Now, why was I getting massive damage there? Do I need to retune? No, apparently not. This is a wireless lever, which are awesome, really cheap, almost cheatily cheap. Just a block of redstone over a lever, and then you shift right click it on the block you want to power, and then put it down anywhere. It's awesome. But yeah, so we why was I taking massive damage? That was the question. This guy here, which is Killer Joe, and the fans are pushing me. Killer Joe is basically a zombie head in this like kind of jar formation out of dark steel and fused quartz, and you give him a weapon. I've given him this, and I don't know why I put Soul Stealer on there, and basically feed him with nutrient, which is coming from this barrel here. How much we got? Yeah, plenty. And he will just basically hit anything in front of him like a tank, and not just directly in front of him, in like quite a wide area in front of him. So excuse me. So that was definitely a little rabbit hole to get to right there. Hello, can I? Oh, thank you. So yeah, he is definitely going to go over to the Helicarrier. I'm even thinking of making like a wither killing device with him, perhaps, because he really does hit like a truck. So yeah, that's where I was getting my ender pearls from, to feed into this and make our Anderium. Awesome. What else have we got? What's this? Cyanide reprocessor. Yes, a cyanide reprocessor which turns cyanide ingots into plutonium ingots, which are used in some recipes we'll get to. Where do you get the cyanide ingots? Well, they are technically they're the waste product from one of these guys. And this is why I can run all my mechanism machines at full tilt now. Let's check plenty in there. This is a big reactor from the Big Reactors mod, and basically Yellorium goes in, cyanide comes out, all is happy with the world. It's producing 6.2 kilorf nearly 6200 RF per tick, basically, which is a fair old amount of RF, and it's doing it quite nicely, and it's pretty much maintenance free. And as far as I am aware, nothing can go wrong with this. It can't explode, it can't do anything, basically. So, which you can see, the buffer is full here, which is lovely. I've still got my windmills up top, but really I could probably take them down, which would be pretty nice for the look of the tree. So that is all cool. Getting a bit of stuttering tonight. I'm not sure what that's about. So yeah, a reactor. Now, I also found, though, the cyanide comes out of that thing so slowly. You really... The thing with reactors is there's two tiers, and to get to the second tier, you're meant to have run, and tutorials will tell you, you're going to have run one of those types of reactors, the tier 1 reactors, first. It's not true. If we look here, cyanide has a recipe, and this is I ended up doing this to get most of the cyanide I needed for the project, for a project out at the Helicarrier, which we'll see shortly. That was by far the easiest way to get the cyanide. Plutonium, you only need a couple of ingots for, really, although I needed 8. So I'm not even sure why I'm making them. I think you can actually use these as a fuel source, which would be interesting to see. So maybe I'll put those in there. But yeah, those reactors are pretty cool. Multi-block structure. You kind of need to look up a tutorial, and there are spreadsheets for configurations and stuff. I'm not entirely certain that is the best configuration for its size. All I know is it's a pretty good configuration. So you kind of make a base out of the reactor casings, slap in a controller, an output, an input, a power tap, which I've got over here. Fuel rods go inside these yellow things. It's yellow because they're full of liquid yellorium, I believe. And I chose to cool it with resonant ender, which is like the second best. And really, there's not too much difference between that and gelocryothium. Now, I know you can set it up a lot better. I could have made this much bigger and put the resonant ender so it surrounded these guys on all sides, the fuel rods on all sides. But honestly, this thing works, and it gives me more, well, as far as I can tell, it gives me more power than I need. So that's good enough for me. So yeah, not to kind of beat around the bush too much. The project that this has all been in aid of has been building a tier 2 reactor for a system for the Helicarrier. And that requires turbines, and turbine parts require, and let's have a look at that. Oh, my frames are tanking. 11 frames a second, my goodness. Turbine, so you need Nether Quartz for that, and graphite, but that's just cooked up coal. And these cyanide ingots. But Nether Quartz, where can I get Nether Quartz from? I think to myself. So I went down another slightly shorter rabbit hole, and we're going to go and see what I did to rectify that problem. So I'm going to scoot over here. I heard you, Skelly. Eat my dust. We're going to scoot over here, and we're going to go into the Nether. So over here, and wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly woo. Oh, frames are back. I wonder if it's something in my tree. So if we scoot around here, I spent a long time picking at the ceilings, sulfur, and all that sort of business, and I was not getting enough, really, not getting it nearly enough. This is me digging out here, looking for, that's not Nether Quartz, that's salt ore. And you know what? I figured, as my friend Slip would say, I said to myself, manual mining is for mugs. It really is. This is modded Minecraft. So I went up here just because I wanted to get on the get close to the top. Found this, which I thought was a bit odd. I believe it's part of roguelike dungeons. And I was in here, and zombies were coming from everywhere. And oh, what? Yeah, it spawns through the nether roof. How strange. So I ran a long way to this waypoint over here, which says water. Because yeah, I found water in the nether. Ooh, yes I did. I found water in the nether. So maybe we'll check that out first. Maybe if I look down so you can't see what I built. Or look at this, interesting bedrock. Oh, something spawned up here. A ghast maybe spawned up here. Oh, you might have seen. There we go. Let's go down here. So I went down. I thought I'd dig down. There was actually a tree here which had spawned through the bedrock ceiling. So yeah, so I actually dug below that cobble all the way down because you can see it on the mini map. Can you see it on the mini map there? But I went through here, and wouldn't you guess it? Look at this, water right up in the ceiling. If I can just hello, come on, let me through. Here we go. So it's one of these little guys here. So we've got water in the nether, which is kind of crazy. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, but yeah, we could definitely spread it down. So yes, back to the mission for Nether Quartz. I thought we could make an ender quarry, because it might be quite interesting to see the nether converted to dirt. But it was slightly easier to make this guy here. Yeah, this guy here, who is now out of power because I left it running. Yep. So a digital miner, not too hard to make, a little bit of a rabbit hole. But yeah, I set this guy up to go for Nether Quartz, and I got loads. Let's see, and I've got loads more. Awesome. Wow. Okay, just ripped straight through and picked that up as well. Awesome. So let's get rid of all this stuff. That's fantastic. So yeah, he basically stripped all the Nether Quartz out, scratch my nose, and got me enough to make the frankly insane amount of turbine blocks that I decided to make. So yeah, I guess I should update you on the progress over at the carrier. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to take a quick cut here as I make my way back, and we'll come in as we're approaching the carrier. Don't get too excited, it's not finished or anything, but you know, we're getting there. So yes, I will see you in but a moment. Okay, welcome back. And so it occurred to me, our Helicarrier, how does it stay in the air? Now I thought about putting mining lasers, because it's got a cool like that white lasery effect. That could be suspended by those, but then I thought, you know what if those big reactor turbines can be placed vertically instead of horizontally? Papa, have a look at this. Please render in, become a thing. There we go. Maybe F5. Oh, look at it. Can you see it? Let's land this and fly around in the jetpack now. You may notice a very large white bubble. That is because I'm currently filling in the hull, or I've started to, and I'm using an open blocks building guide to basically tell me where to place the blocks. Come on, let me out. Oh, server's being very laggy tonight for some reason. Thank you. And I think I might break you. Come here. Come back to me. Come back to me. Thank you. Nice. So, yeah, let's have a look at this. Wow. Does that not look like a thing that keeps a helicarrier afloat? Aloft. That's pretty BA. Look at it. So, yeah, this is what a maximum width horizontal turbine from big reactors looks like. It's a double bladed turbine, and I'll explain how these things work. You can see where I'm started filling in the hull, thanks to the very large. Now I would pull this up, but it was a pain to set up, and I really don't want to. But you can kind of see the sort of volume that we're going to be looking at. Now the front, so I'm not going to adhere to it faithfully at the front, and the back will modify that appropriately. But yeah, let's have a look at this thing. So yeah, we'll go in here first. And I did not bring any torches because I'm a silly derp. Here is our reactor on the, will you please? Thank you. Our ship reactor. Now it's actually a block shorter than it should be, and that is because I brought one too few fuel rods when I was building it, and I didn't want to go back. But yeah, this thing doesn't produce power, so it's basically identical to the one at the tree. Got an input and an output, and basically it's like that's pretty much identical. I've given it a load of space around the fuel rods. Not quite sure why. The tutorial I watched had a reactor with one fuel rod and space around it, but it hasn't got any coolant in, and it is running hot. But in my tests, even putting coolant in, it doesn't do anything when on these types of reactors. Now the difference between that and this one and the one at the tree is it's got two extra ports, coolant ports. One of them's configured to be a coolant port in, and the other one a coolant port out. So this one pushes water. Sorry, that one's in, that one's out. This one accepts water, and that one pushes out steam. And that's how these tier 2 reactors work. So that steam goes out to this multi-block structure, which is the turbine, and that's got two ports, and steam in, water out. Now I've also got this pump here, which is kind of just keeping the system topped up as needed. I do believe these will run as a closed system eventually, so I'll be able to take that out, but I might put one in somewhere about the ship just for, just to have. Also, and this is where the power tap is. So the power tap comes out of here, and we've got a controller here. I might move back down to the bottom, and as you can see, I've tweaked the input with these. These are so easy, they're almost cheatily easy. I've tweaked the input so that the rotor sits at around 1800 RPM, which is there are two sweet spots around 900, and you can see in the text, perform best at 900 and 1800. Well, the 1800 gives you more power, and that is what I want. So we've got nearly 5,000 redstone flux per tick. Now we're gonna have 4 of those, so that's 20,000 redstone flux per tick, which is awesome, but this is not nearly as awesome as it should be. Basically, when I tested this in a single player, exactly the same turbine, but I used Anderium blocks, which is the top tier blocks you can use for this bottom bit. And what that's meant to be is like it's called an induction coil. So you know, like a dynamo. So as the turbine spins, is meant to be inducing energy, electrical current or some such in the induction coil, and the different materials apply different torque and produce different powers, and Anderium is the best. However, when I build it on the server, the multi-block will not form. This doesn't light up, the textures don't join, and although I can get into the interface for some reason, it's kind of just bugged out. And I think it might actually work, but the rotors don't spin. And I'm not interested unless these rotors are spinning, because they look freaking awesome. Look at that. That's how it stays. That's how you fly a ship. So yeah, basically that is made me sad panda. I even went so far to make up a load of shiny metal blocks, which is not quite as good as Anderium. Didn't form, so I need to try and find the highest tier metal where this will actually form. Some of the metals I don't believe are even in the mod, like tartarite. I don't think that's in the mod. Titanium is in the mod, but that involves a big long trip down mariculture technology, which I really didn't have time to do before this episode went out. But that is basically, I'll tell you what we want to do. That is basically what I have been doing, and it represents many hours of work. This power line's not staying here, by the way. But yeah, let's bung this guy on here, and you can see it fills up at a pretty decent rate. Pretty decent. Not as good as if I could get the Anderium in there, but pretty decent. So yeah, that is what I have been doing. We're getting there. Hopefully I can get the other 3 of these in, and also fill the hull in so that I can start moving stuff over here. And I really want to get onto mechanisms or quintuplicization. What a wonderful word. But yeah, so nothing really kind of finished to show you, but this is pretty awesome, you've got to admit. Anyway, that's all I've got time for today, guys. I am hopefully going off now to record with Ravenschild. I think that's how you would pronounce it, Ravenshield. With some do some flan stuff with him, but I'm not sure if that is going to come after this particular bit on the end of this episode, or whether it will be next episode that it is in. But yes, I hope you enjoyed what I had to show you, and until next time, guys. Boom boom, and girls, because I've been told off. Take care of yourselves. Whee!